What in the hell is wrong with people? Why is it that people seem to think that they can spout racist BS and people not think they're assholes? Welcome to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. On Monday in Saline, Michigan, they were having a meeting among parents at the school because earlier in the year, some kids had been found on Snapchat to have been using racial slurs against people of different minorities, especially African Americans in the community, and using slogans like "white power" and other racial, racist slurs. And so the school was having a meeting on how they could address the situation. How could they, limit the spread of racism? How could they combat racism in their community? It's a noble cause, is it not? Is it not a noble cause to try to get rid of all the, to get rid of the negativity in your school system? But a man by the name of Adrian Iraola, he's a man who's lived in Saline, Michigan for 40 years. Moved from Mexico City 40 years ago. He's an architectural engineer, but his love and his passion is his family and a restaurant that he and his wife opened. They've got 3 locations. That just shows you how hardworking this man and his wife are. He's the epitome of what we want as an immigrant in this country, is he not? Somebody that comes here, works his ass off, raises a family, does right by everybody, but then you don't want to give him the right to speak when he talks about his children, all born here, by the way, and the pain they suffered, that one of his sons suffered. One day he says he went to tell his son good night in his bedroom, and he walked in there and found his son was crying his eyes out because of the abuse and the verbal attacks that he was facing. He was being given taunts of taco, enchilada, and dirty Mexican. And I can't imagine what that kid must have been feeling to hear that on a daily basis. To be taunted and insulted simply for his ethnicity. Now, I understand bullying. I understand it very clear. I faced bullying frequently growing up. Now, it wasn't because of my race. It's because of my disability. My inability to do certain things. But this kid was just here going to school. And he was being attacked simply because of his ethnicity? Now, the thing is, minorities in this country face this problem every single day. You might not think it's there. You might think racism is dead and gone, but it's not. We have kids right now in schools feeling like they're lesser simply because of their race. When you hear it enough, you give up hope. You stop caring. And if you're not careful, sometimes you'll start to believe that you are lesser. I can tell you right now that every bit of my depression and anxiety that I deal with on a daily basis can be searched all the way back to the bullying that I endured. My lack of self-confidence. For example. These things have lasting effects on children. I mean, come on, I'm 40 years old. And I remember everything said and done to me. I haven't forgot one iota of it. But you have people out there that think it's okay. Tom Burtell here went on to continue the attack, saying, "Oh, it was just words on Twitter or on some app." They're still words. They can still hurt. Maybe if you're one of those people that have never faced bullying of any kind, maybe you don't understand. For me, it took me a long time as a kid to understand racism. I didn't understand it until I went to college. I had an African American roommate. Great guy, fun guy. We had lots of fun. We played Madden football, we watched wrestling. We would go out to go out to eat, things like that. We just had a lot of fun times. But that's where I ran across racism. That's where I saw it in my face. He would get called the N-word simply for existing. I got tailed through the city of Athens, Texas, because I had a black man sitting in my passenger seat. We were tailed by people in Walmart. This only happened when I was with him. The man had no criminal record. He wasn't stealing anything, because when we'd go to the store, he was with me. We were side by side all the time. And so it was clear. The things that he would hear, the things that I never even paid attention to, would have never thought existed. But he endured it. Stronger than I could have ever been. The fact that he didn't, shove his fist down somebody's throat, I don't understand how he didn't do it. Because this guy was big. But the racist folks out there, they got balls. They don't care how big you are. They're going to sit there and spout their bullshit. And they're going to sit there and complain and cry if you do react. And that's exactly what he told me. That you can't react to ignorance. At least not in a violent way. But the fact is, people like this Tom Burtell, they exist. They're everywhere. And there's nothing you or I can really do to change some of their hearts. But I will say this much. I would love to have either one of these people on my podcast. I would love to interview Adrian Iraola, because I would love to see how his story unfolded over the 40 years that he's been here. I think it's amazing when somebody can come from, another country, just give up everything they had back home, and then come to America and be successful. So, if Adrian Iraola, if you ever come across this video, leave me a comment down below. Hit me up in my emails. I would love to get you on my podcast that I do over on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. As well, I extend the same offer to Tom Burtell. Because I would love to know where he gets off attacking people simply for being Hispanic. What drives him? Because I would love to understand, because maybe, just maybe, if we could come to if I could understand, maybe we could make a solution. And that's my thought nationwide. If we could all just stop and listen to one another. Let them have their say. it has to be orderly. But the fact is, this man did what he did, and it's wrong. I can never understand it. It's beyond me. But I would love to have either one of these people on my podcast. Just so I could understand them. I'd like to know where they're both coming from. I would love to know Adrian Iraola's full story. I would love to know Tom Burtell's full story. I would love to know how each of them got to the point that they were on Monday. And I would love to know, for sure, how you are okay with racist comments being made from student to student in your community. Because I can tell you one thing. I lived in a podunk East Texas town, Maybank, Texas. And yeah, racism was there. But it wasn't the overarching thing you heard about in school. You know, going to school, black folks hung out with white folks hung out with black folks, Hispanics were just part of the family. It wasn't full of hate. At least not as much as this. Because I'm sure there were racist people there, but they didn't say anything. They didn't attack people. But unfortunately, these jackasses have decided to come out of the woodwork. To the children or kids that were part of this, that were having these racial slurs thrown at them through this group, I'm sorry that it happened. Just know that not everybody's like that. I mean, yeah, you're going to have jerks out there. You're going to have assholes out there everywhere you go. But at the end of the day, most people aren't like that. And to the students that were sending messages of white power, is that really all you have to be proud of? Is the color of your skin really all you have to be proud of? I hope that's not the life you live. Going forward in your life, I hope you realize that there's more to being successful. There's more to being an important person in this country or in this world than the color of your skin. Your achievements are far more important. Because being white is not an achievement. It's something you're born. We can't change our skin color. There's no need to attack people because they have a different skin color. We need to put an end to racism. Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. Be good to one another.